let me lead you all into this final turtle build. This is it, we've reached the end. We're doing the final Ninja Turtle Leonardo, the leader of the group, and his two katana swords. Oh, or ninjato swords. Oh, or there seems to be a lot of confusion on the internet. Who would have thought that ever happened? Depending on who you ask, where you ask, which iteration, people can't seem to quite get their story straight. Katana is a Japanese longsword. It's curved. Ninjato is a straight sword with the kind of clip tip. I am not an expert. I can't go into all the subtleties of what existed and when and who wielded them. The main thing is, if you haven't seen the other videos, we're basing these off the 1990 live action movie. Now in that movie, his swords do have what looks to be a little bit of a curve. They do have that round tip. You could possibly classify them as some kind of katana, but in most of like the cartoon iterations, it's usually the straight swords with the clip tip, because Western audiences and Western media can't really differentiate the two most of the time. It's just like a ninja sword. So I am basing these two swords off the film, but I am going to alter them a little bit.
You lie!
And do ninjato swords with the straight blade, the clip tip, mainly because I've never done them. So I thought that would be different, fun for me. But we're still gonna follow that 1990 grit feel. We're doing the dark brown leather. These swords just have a simple square guard. They look beat up. They look like somebody made them in a sewer maybe. So to achieve that look, first thing we're gonna do is use some nasty old material. We're talking leaf spring. Look at this, I pulled this off a truck. Leaf spring is more than likely 5160 steel. It's not the best steel out there. You'll have some folks that come to you and like, oh man, leaf spring, that makes the best sword in the whole world, I tell you what. And that's just not true. Come on, we've got a lot of modern material, a lot of better material. 80 CRV2, by the way. It's a decent steel and it's perfect for what we're gonna be using it for. Also, it's basically free. And you know I like when it's free. Got a thermocycle. Also, the forge and the colors are a lot brighter on camera than they are to me. So if it looks a little too hot, just think it's a little bit cooler than that in real life. Also, sadly, my giant heat treat oven is on the fritz.
I wonder if you'd stay, if you knew the things I...
So in order to temper these swords, they're gonna have to be a little bit shorter than I wanted them to be. The conventional ovens we have here at the shop, which work just fine for tempering, I can fit maybe a maximum of 30 inches overall. So I'm a little sad, it's just a little bit shorter than I wanted it to be, but if they can't fit in the oven, they can't become real swords. So these swords kind of have a beefy bevel, and what I mean by that is there's the edge, and then as it goes away from the edge, it kind of widens out. Not super quickly, it's not a wedge, but it definitely isn't as thin of a bevel as a sword really should be. And I was thinking about it, and I think I'm gonna kind of leave it that way a little bit, because in the movie, Leonardo's kind of beating people with his swords. I know that's probably because it's a movie and they don't want to show like arms coming off and feet coming off the foot. But it just, I don't know, it feels like it's on theme a little bit. That they will be sharp and they'll cut and all that, but they don't need to be like these razors. I'm gonna switch over to a finer grit belt, grind the swords, grind the guards, get them all set up and the finish done. Now with the finish, I'm gonna do the same thing I did to Raphael's Sai, which if you haven't seen that video, go watch it. But I'm gonna wire brush the steel. That kind of gives it a little bit of a matte type finish. And then I'm gonna hit it with some cold blue chemical, which is gonna turn it blue black. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of oil and a really well-worn Scotch-Brite pad to just bring it back, to give it kind of a smoky, kind of an aged patina, if you will. I got some ash here for the handle material. This is pretty good stuff. It's so good, you could probably make some nunchucks out of it. Sometimes when you work in a machine shop, things are getting machined, you know, sensitive stuff. So you get exiled to the bridge of sanding. Sponsor me. Come on, do it.